Good afternoon and welcome back. We did tell you that these were going to come thick and fast, and for the third time in the space of 5 days, it is time for a 2024 MotoGP project to officially get underway. Gresini Racing has been ticked off, as has the factory Ducati team, and now it's time for the newly rebranded Pertamina Enduro VR46 racing team to get their 2024 officially started with a new look lineup for this year as well. Marco Bezzecchi, after finishing third in the World Championship in 2023, he returns and he's now joined by MotoGP race winner Fabio Di Gianantonio. A change to the sets, the customary yellow for the Doctor and Valentino Rossi, can mean only one thing. And as a result of this new title sponsor and new rebrand as well, I think we can safely say that the livery may well be quite a bit different from what we've been used to over the past couple of years. Some small changes here and there for both Gresini and Ducati, but I think this is going to be our biggest livery change yet ahead of the new season in MotoGP. Right, this of course is about to get underway in just under 30 minutes time, live from Riccione. We're once again heading back to the seaside town for this one. We'll be heading there to our man Chris Jordan very shortly indeed. But there's some more presentations to tell you about. Let's talk through the calendar. Wait, after this one, another exciting one as well, with the brand new Trackhouse Racing Aprilia squad unveiling their MotoGP project for the first time under the glitz and glamour of Los Angeles. We'll be live with you on the 27th, Saturday the 27th at 4 o'clock Central European time. And then on Monday the 29th, we'll be with you for the Red Bull, well, potentially Red Bull, the Gas Factory Racing Tech Task squad of Pedro Acosta and Augusto Fernandez. So lots to look forward to over the coming week before, of course, then, as you can see, this time next week we'll be only 24 hours away from the Sepang Shakedown officially starting, where the likes of Fabio Quartararo, Alex Rins, Joao Mir and Luca Marini will all be on track with Pedro Acosta. I think we're going to be chatting live to the Moto2 World Champion on Monday from Malaysia as he gets set to make his first laps on a MotoGP bike in 2024 ahead of a big year for the young Spaniard. But our focus is two young Italians today in Marco Bezzecchi and Fabio Di Gianantonio, and this is what's coming your way over the next couple of hours or so. Once again, if you were with us on Saturday or on Monday, you'll be used to the fact that we're speaking live to riders, live to team managers, and in this particular case, we'll be chatting live to the 9-time world champion Valentino Rossi once the presentation is finished. We're also going to be hearing from the face, the voice of Servus TV in Austria, Alina Marzi, plus a voice that you're all going to be very familiar with, our very own Matt Birt, to preview the presentation and the year ahead for the Pertamina Enduro VR46 squad. We'll be heading across live for the full presentation at 3 o'clock local time, 25 minutes time. And then once that is done, we'll have live reaction and opinion on that brand new livery before it's once again time for our expert eye with Matt Birt joining us once again. And you can get your questions in for Bertie as we get closer to that in around 90 minutes time by letting us know in the chat. Of course, as you have done over the past two, make sure that you're letting us know where you're watching from, what you're looking forward to in MotoGP in 2024, and what your thoughts and expectations are for both Bez and Digia ahead of this big season ahead of them. Right, I think we can head live to Riccione. In fact, no, not yet. In a couple of moments' time. Before that, let's just bring you up to speed with how you can stay up to date with all of the latest news in MotoGP throughout 2024. A brand new app and website officially launched last year, and you can download it now in the chat on Twitch, on Instagram, on YouTube. You'll be able to find a link there to download the app on both iOS and Android. You can get live timing on it, all the latest videos, all of the latest news, push notifications as well, informing you of the latest breaking news in what is going to be a very busy year with all pretty much of the MotoGP grid having their contracts coming to an end. From what Pecco Bagnaia was saying to the press in Madonna just a couple of days ago, it sounds as though he's not too far away from signing a renewal with the Ducati squad, and you'll be the first to know by downloading the MotoGP app. One man that is definitely in the know, our very own Chris Jordan. He's made the trip across to Riccione for this big event, the Pertamina Enduro VR46 Racing Team presentation. We can see behind you, Chris, that the Fluo stream, as they've called it, is about to get underway. We're expecting big things, a brand new livery. What's the atmosphere there like?
Well, a big buongiorno to you, Jack, and everyone watching across the world. As you can see here, we are set and prime and ready to go for the Pertamina Enduro VR46 Team Presentation 2024. Things are bubbling over quite nicely here at the moment, as we're going to see now. There's quite a crowd here gathering. We are, of course, in the heart of motorcycle country in Italy. Absolute motorcycle mania around here. Misano World Soccer. Marco Simoncelli is just across the road. Marco Bezzecchi, born up the road in Rimini, while, of course, Tavuglia, Valentino Rossi's hometown, is just a 20-minute drive away from here. As you correctly mentioned, we're expecting a new livery. We're seeing lots of yellow and white around the place, so read into that as you would wish. But we're only about 20 minutes from finding out exactly how it looks like as we take a walk now towards the exhibition hall, where we will see showtime very, very shortly, Jack.
Yeah, thank you very much, Chris. Great to be able to see the live scenes there in Riccione. And look at that. That is quite the venue. I mean, we've been treated to some special places so far. Grassini in a nightclub, Ducati on the Dolomites, on the slopes, and now we're into what looks like a grand hall, Chris. That's quite the venue.
Yeah, it seems Ducati know how to throw a party for these pre-season events, and this will be no different. They're 2 for 2 on my marking. This looks like it's going to be 3 for 3, Jack, judging by some of the action I had seen earlier.
Top man, Chris, thank you very much. As ever, we'll be coming back to you just before the show gets underway, where I'm sure that that town hall, well, it's a bit better than that. The Grand Hall will be absolutely packed to the rafters. Of course, Pertamina Enduro, a brand new big title sponsor from Indonesia, and we understand there's quite a few people made the trip across for this start of a new adventure together. If you didn't think that the VR46 brand could get any bigger in that part of the world, and it looks as though this brand new partnership is going to take it stratospheric. Right, lots of you getting in touch as usual. Mechanic Addict, first time here from Canada. Well, thanks for joining us for the first time. Hopefully it's not the last as well. Great to have people joining us from Canada. Of course, we'll be over in that part of the world next time we join you on Saturday for the Trackhouse Racing launch in Los Angeles. And without further ado, I think we can now remember to put your comments in as well. We'll be going through a whole host of them as we go throughout the show. Joined for the very first time, the first of our expert guests to give us a little bit of insight, a little bit of detail on what is to come, not only today, but throughout the course of the season as well. The voice, the face of Servus TV in Austria is Alina Marzi. So, shall we cross live to Alina? In fact, no, just before that, fan questions, yes. So, this is one for you guys at home to get in touch with. Please do let us know. Let's have a look at this. Shall we pop the fan question up for the guys at home to be able to answer it?
Hello Dija, hello Beds, and a greeting to everywhere 46 members. I'm Nico, I'm from San Marino, but I'm half Pesarese, and I'm 21 years old, and I'm here to ask Fabio, which pasta do you prefer between carbonara, amatriciana, gricia or cacio e pepe? Maybe the answer is obvious. And another question for Fabio is if you would eat a typical pizza of Pesaro. The name is Pizza Rossini, and is made with eggs boiled and mayo. And that's all. I hope see you in Misano. Ciao.
Hello, I'm Graceman from Indonesia. What rituals do you are before race start? Thank you.
Hey Marco, come stai? My name is Yasmin and I am from the UK. Hopefully, I can come and see you at Silverstone this year. My question is, will you take Rubik on a victory lap on the bike when you become the 2024 champion? Because I believe in you. So yeah, have fun, stay safe. Ciao.
There we go then. Great to be able to hear from some of you at home, sending your questions in for both Fabio and Marco, and Chris will be putting those questions to them later on. And a good reminder as well, I've actually just seen on Instagram, if you go onto our MotoGP stories, you've got the opportunity to be able to put your questions in for both Miguel Oliveira and Raul Fernandez this weekend. Without further ado, slightly delayed, my fault, but great to be able to chat with Service TV's Alina Marzi. Alina, thank you very much for joining us. I see you've been pretty busy as well. You were at the Ducati launch on Monday, the opportunity to speak to the world champion. What a venue that was, and Pecco seemed pretty confident ahead of the new year as well.
Hello, Jack. Yeah, thanks for having me. Happy to keep in touch with you. It's such a long time, way too long off season, if you ask me. Just returned from Madonna di Campiglio, second time in a row. Wonderful event, like a winter wonderland with the champion on the slopes. There was also a race yesterday. This battle in Enea won, which is kind of interesting, but maybe on the skis he's a bit faster than Pecco. But all in all, really a perfect event to start this new season for the Ducati factory team.
Yeah, absolutely. Looked a great event. There was no jealousy here at all that I didn't get the opportunity to go, but maybe next year. Right, let's talk the VR46 boys then. Just like me, you had the opportunity to speak to Marco Bezzecchi quite a lot last year. A real breakout season for him. Not only a great personality that is fantastic for the sport, but he certainly was able to surprise quite a few in 2023. Do you think it's going to be more of the same for him this year?
Hopefully, he definitely has the potential to. As we see Fabio Di Gianantonio here with his new gear, I'd like to say that both of the riders have been some of my highlights during the last season. As you were talking about Marco Bezzecchi, during his first season, rookie of the year, and then last season he got third in the championship, which is an outstanding performance in my eyes. And he's such a kind guy, a funny one. He's really good for the sport, for the championship, and I think we all love to work with him. And I think there can come super nice things for him. I mean, for sure, it will be difficult. Even like he said, okay, I will stay with my team. I prefer this environment that I like, where I feel comfortable, not getting the factory package at Pramac. So let's see what he can do with the bike from 2023.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be an interesting year for Marco. As you rightly say, third in the World Championship, a handful of Grand Prix victories as well, but the level really does feel like it's increased this year. It's going to be a big challenge just to match what he was able to do last season.
Yeah, definitely. But I think he has everything he needs. He has his team, people he know and he can trust. He has a really good bike. Doesn't matter which one it is. The Ducati is that strong. And I think we can see really good things from him. He's definitely a title contender for me. And I think it would be nice to see celebrate him even more victories. Because when we think back to Argentina, his maiden victory in Premier Class, which was a real highlight during this rain race. And then, for example, India. I mean, when we look back, what great memories. He was the hero there and delivered such a great show for all the fans there.
And just finally, very quickly, we saw him on screen there, Fabio Di Gianantonio, the move to a brand new team with his idols team as well. I mean, we talk about great personalities. Didier is definitely one of them. I think we all hope that he has another successful season.
Yeah, he showed us hero potential at the end of the season. I really don't know where that came from. Out of nowhere, he could show us his full potential, and I really hope that he can continue like that. He can stay within the Ducati family, which is for him a super nice thing. I think he really deserves that seat in Premier Class. It took way too long to get him that seat. But yeah, if he can do things like he showed us at the end of the season, they will be very happy to have him.
Yeah, absolutely. Alina, thank you for your time. We'll catch up with you once the presentation is done and get your reaction to that brand new livery.
All right, see you later.
Chat to you then. Right, great to be able to hear from Alina. And yeah, right in what she says about Fabio Di Giannantonio as well. Can you believe that the season had finished? Sunday night was done and dusted, and we still didn't know if he was going to be on the grid next year, despite being a race winner. But thankfully, it all got sorted in the end, and we will see him on the 2024 MotoGP grid. But mainly thanks to the fact that he was able to win in Qatar. You feel up to that point it was looking difficult for Didier, but when the pressure was on and he had to do it, he was able to come up with the results and keep his place in MotoGP. Right, okay, we've got a poll for you now then to be able to have a look at whether the Pertamina Enduro VR46 team can win the 2024 team's title. What do you think? Yes or no? Of course, for the first time last year, it went to an independent squad in the form of Prima Pramac Racing with Jorge Martin and Johan Zarco. Now with a brand new pairing, Marco Bezzecchi and Fabio Di Giannantonio. Can they win the team's title? Let us know in the chat. Yes, if you think they can do it, or no, if you think they can't. And remember to tell us where you're watching this one from and your predictions ahead of the new season. We'll give the answers to that in around 5 minutes time. Right, from one expert to another, and this is going to be a voice that you're very, very familiar with. Our very own Matt Birt. Great to be able to catch up with him. Bertie, how are you, mate?
Well, I'll keep the Italian theme going, Jack, and say ciao. Happy New Year, mate. Good to see you for the first time in 2024. And a thanks from me as well, buddy, for dragging me out of my winter hibernation. A couple of hours ago, I look like Tom Hanks from Castaway, so I've got a bit of a winter spruce up for you, mate.
It's nice to see that you're not in your pyjamas for once for the first time in 6 weeks, and you've been busy over the past 6...
I've even got a palm tree here for you. I've got tropical ready for the first test in Japan next week. But yeah, great to see you, mate.
I hope that you've got the air conditioning absolutely whacked up with your palm tree there, so you're almost trying to get into Sepang mode already. We just spoke to Alina there about both riders and their expectations and hopes for the year, but for the team as well, it's going to be a big, big year because their deal with Ducati comes to an end at the end of 2024, and we've not even turned a wheel yet, and already a lot of talk about what bikes Valentino Rossi's team are going to be running next year. It's going to be a lot of news for us to get stuck into this year.
Bang on, Jack. Absolutely spot on. I mean, on the circuit, raised expectations after an incredible season last year. I mean, who would have thought that Marco Bezzecchi was going to take that step up from 14th in his rookie season to top 3 last season and a title contender? So there is that increased expectation, certainly on the circuit, but one of so many subplots this year you've talked about, Jack, is what will happen in the future to the VR46 team. Will they be on Ducatis in 2025? This is the last of their 3-year contract with the Bologna factory. And this rumour has been kicking around, as you well know, mate. You spoke to Ucho Salucci, Valentino's a great lifelong friend and sidekick. You spoke to Pablo Nieto, asked them repeated questions about this subject. And they've never come out and made it crystal clear, well, our intention is to stay with Ducati beyond this 3-year deal, which has kind of left the door ajar for this, in effect, maybe fairy tale return to Yamaha for Valentino. There's a new member of the 46 team, of course, Andrea Migno, Moto3 winner. I think he's now a rider coach. Top lad, top character is Andrea Migno. There's going to be some laughs inside that garage this year with him and Bez involved. But coming back to the team, I guess we're going to have to wait and see, Jack, what happens with Yamaha. That's the key thing. You know, it's going to be very, very difficult for Valentino, who has to keep sponsors happy, has to keep his riders happy, to leave Ducati, the dominant factory right now, MotoGP. Yamaha are coming off the back of one of their worst seasons in the last 20, 30 years. Didn't win a Grand Prix last time out. So the first 5 or 6 races will be absolutely critical for not just for Fabio Quattro and Alex Rins, who are keeping their fingers crossed that Yamaha have got a competitive bike. But if Yamaha, who are desperate to have 4 bikes back on the grid next year, you know, you need data, you need information. They're looking clearly for another independent team. The perfect scenario is to get back with Valentino. He's a brand ambassador for the factory. But they have to show Rossi, they have to entice him into this deal. And that means a competitive M1 through the first half of next year. So, yeah, one of several fascinating subplots going into 2024 is to see how it unfolds between Rossi, Ducati and Yamaha moving forward.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be an interesting one because I'm sure there are a lot of people at home that, like us, are looking at on the face of it. And at the moment, a move from Ducati to Yamaha doesn't seem that attractive. So the ball is very much in Yamaha's court to try and turn things around and try and attract attention to get those third and fourth bikes on the grid.
100%. Yeah, I mean, the onus, the ball is well and truly in Yamaha's court, because I'm sure already Valentino has probably had some behind-the-scenes contact with Yamaha where he's expressed some interest in being reunited with the brand. I mean, Yamaha and Valentino Rossi seem to go together like strawberries and cream, don't they? It's a match that we know has been made in heaven. Actually, January the 24th, this very day, 20 years ago, was when Valentino first threw his leg over an M1 in that unforgettable test in Malaysia. And their career since then have kind of been intertwined, haven't they? You just think that there's maybe one more chapter in this Rossi-Yamaha love affair. But he's only going to go there. We know what Valentino's like, Jack. He's a serial winner, whether it's a rider, a go-kart driver on the ranch, riding at the Tavuglia ranch. He loves to win. He's not going to give up a winning package like Ducati and go on a Yamaha. Sentiment won't come into it. He will want to win. And, of course, he's going to have to keep his riders happy. He's going to want to keep Marco Bezzecchi and Fabio Di Giannantonio probably, although Fermin Aldeguer has been strongly linked with the team in the future. So to have top-notch talent, you need top-notch machinery. And you've got to say at the moment, that's not a Yamaha. So, yeah, there's some big decisions for Yamaha and for Rossi to make in the next coming months.
Yeah, it's certainly going to be interesting. As ever, I'm sure you're going to be across it, as will I as well. Looking forward to it. Bertie, we'll catch up with you later on. And for those guys at home that want to fire some questions across to him, then you can do now. We'll try and get a few and see if we can test you later on, Bertie.
Just easy ones, please. The old grey mat has not been working for a few weeks in Valencia, so just break me back in nice and gently, please.
No problem. We need to warm him back up again so he's ready to go for Qatar at round one. Thanks a lot, Bertie. Chat to you in a bit. Great to be able to catch up with Matt there. And as I say, we'll be back with him later on once the presentation is done. Right, we told you about that poll. Let's see what the results are. 71% of you thinking that this isn't going to be the year for the VR46 squad to take that MotoGP team's title. 29% thinking that they can do it. It's going to be a tough ask. I mean, the past two teams that we've just presented, Gresini Racing and the Lenovo Ducati squad, have got pretty impressive lineups. So they're certainly going to be posing a challenge. Are a few others as well. So that's definitely one to keep an eye on. Right, who else have we got getting in touch with us? Eduardo from Patagonia, from Chile. Looking forward to cheering on Marco Bezzecchi this year. Hopefully Eduardo has got his ticket sorted for Termas. We'll be heading there very soon. Adwugo from Nigeria. Wow, great to have you. Great to have fans in Nigeria. Katie's getting in touch as well from Newport, Rhode Island in the US. Thank you very much, Katie. Great to be able to hear from you. Who else have we got? Otalas is watching in Romania. Wow, we're truly global today. That's what I like to see. Who else? Quittermania from Sicily, of course. I'm sure from Sicily is big fans of Valentino Rossi and his squad. Danny's getting in touch from Malaysia as well. Looking forward to being out there, or our team are anyway, in around a week's time for the first test of the year. And we are now 6 minutes officially away from 2024 getting started for the VR46 squad. And once again, it looks as though we've got some VIP guests there. I was led to believe that an Indonesian media personality would get this 75 million followers on Instagram is going to be present. I believe it's that gentleman in the middle there. So, I mean, if you wouldn't mind sending a few followers my way, that would be very much appreciated. I'm sure Chris Jordan is on that already. Right, quiz question for you before we head back to Riccione to get a little bit of a sampling of that atmosphere before the presentation gets underway. Again, I had a word with the guys in the back. Far too easy with the quiz questions. We need to be testing you, just like we're going to be testing Bertie later. So let's see what they've come up with. This, our first quiz question of the day. And this is a good one. Fabio Di Giannantonio's favourite band. Is it A, the Beatles, or B, the Red Hot Chili Peppers? You've got a couple of minutes to get your answers in for that one. No cheating. Don't be going on Instagram and seeing what music he's been putting next to his Instagram stories. Is Didja a fan of the Beatles, or is he a big fan of the Red Hot Chili Peppers? That's a tough one, that. I think I'd struggle to decide between the two of them. I've seen the Red Hot Chili Peppers live, and they're absolutely fantastic. Unfortunately, as is no surprise, not old enough to have had the opportunity to see the Beatles live, but I'm sure that would have been some occasion. But anyway, who's Digi's favourite? Let us know now, and we'll get the answer to you very soon indeed. So, as we're saying, for Valentino Rossi, there are plenty of talking points. Alina, quite rightly, coming up with the facts that this is a big year for Marco Bezzecchi because he turns down the opportunity to move up to the Pramac Racing squad and teammate Jorge Martin this year on a 2024 machine, instead deciding to stay with what he knows, with the team that he's grown such a close relationship with. So as a result, expectations are going to be high. As you can see, Chris is there looking resplendent in Riccione, people filing in behind you. I can imagine that the atmosphere is growing.
Well, thank you for such kind words, Jack. I'm sure I can't see you, but I'm sure you're looking the same in the studio. But you are dead right. Things are just, I said it was bubbling a little bit earlier. Now it's really heating up as all the VIPs here are beginning to take their seat inside Palazzo dei Congressi di Riccione. If we can take a look there, we see them flowing in all across the exhibition hall. And we see the two bikes up there on the left-hand side of the stage. A lot of curious people here to see how they will look for the 2024 season, particularly under new sponsorship.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of intrigue here. Just very quickly, is the boss in attendance yet, Chris? Has Valentino made his way into the building?
I haven't actually spotted him yet. Now, I've been keeping an eagle eye out, and I've seen some of the VIPs, but the doctor is keeping a low profile at the moment, but we do have an appointment with him a little bit later. So I'll keep an eye out and I'll update you as soon as I can.
Very good. Thank you very much indeed. I imagine he's potentially backstage, ready to come out and play a starring role in what we're going to be seeing in a couple of minutes' time. We're only 2 minutes away from the presentation getting underway. So Chris is going to scuttle off and get his seat ready on the front row, no doubt. And yes, stick with us as well, because not only are we going to be hearing from both riders, Marco Bezzecchi and Fabio De Gianantonio, but as Chris rightly says, Uccio Salucci will be joining us, Pablo Nieto, and the man himself, Valentino Rossi, to preview a big 2024. Right, okay, let's get to the quiz question then, shall we? Fabio De Gianantonio's favourite band? Well, everybody. Surely not. Did everybody get it right? I mean, congratulations, guys. I was a little bit harsh last time saying that you needed to go away and do your homework, and you've listened. You have done. Well done. All of you have rightly said that Digia is a big fan of the Chili Peppers. Great choice as well. Some great music coming courtesy of them. But yeah, I'm surprised that none of you opted to go for the Beatles. Maybe that was a little bit easier than what I thought it was going to be. So let's see who else has been getting in touch then. Desi has been in touch from Jamaica. What a place. Well done, Desi. I mean, I'm going to have to speak to the bosses. I feel as though MotoGP is missing a Caribbean stop at the moment. Nata from the Czech Republic. Great to have Nata joining us and having a natter in the chat as well. Remember to put your comments in there and we'll let you guys have your moment in the sunshine. Who else has been getting in touch with us ahead of this Valentino Rossi's launch? Musflix letting us know from Bangladesh. Well, great to have you with us, Nussflix. Enjoy the upcoming season as well. And before we head across, an opportunity very quickly to let you know that tickets, of course, are available now for the 2024 MotoGP World Championship. 22 venues coming up, starting in Qatar on the 9th and 10th of March and finishing in Valencia, with trips all over the world in between. 2024, I feel, has to be the year that you tick off those bucket list trips. So whether it is Austin, whether it's Argentina, whether it's Mugello, whether it's Misano, just a stone's throw away from where we're about to go very shortly indeed. Get those tickets now. The link is there in the chat for you to be able to get them and get ready for 2024. Was that the start? No, I think that was just them telling everybody to take their seats. And as you can see, we told you it's the Fluo stream. I think that Valentino Rossi and his crew, Aldo Drudi, has designed this one. They teased, did the squads, that Aldo, who of course famously designed Valentino Rossi's helmets throughout his career, has been a part of the design process for this one. It looks as though he's had his highlighters out, because that is quite a vibrant yellow. we are used to Valentino Rossi yellow making an appearance on the grid, and it looks as though it may well be the staple colour of 2024 after having a darkened look. Of course, with the Mooney sponsorship, they were black and then they were grey, but looks as though this time around they've gone for the highlighter yellow, which means that these boys are going to be easy to spot in the paddock in 2024. Right, looking forward to this one then. An opportunity for them to unveil their brand new lineup. Marco Bezzecchi and Fabio Di Gianantonio are about to start their 2024's the Pertamina Enduro VR46 racing team launch is seconds away from getting underway. So why don't we head across live to Riccione to make sure that we don't miss a second of it. Well, looks like in true Italian style, we've got a little bit of a delay at the moment. So whilst we wait, we can see some live images here of the VIPs taking their place in Riccione, including the boss himself, Valentino Rossi there, with Davide Tardozzi in the background as well, has made the quick trip across from the factory Ducati launch a couple of days ago to be able to join Valentino and the crew for this one. Of course, the Doctor, unsurprisingly, has managed to bag himself a front row seat. I wouldn't expect any less. And there with, I believe that is Mr. Pertamina himself. A rather important gentleman.
Prendete posto, la diretta sta per iniziare. Grazie.
And in my best Italian, that, I believe, means that the presentation is about to get underway. Phones on silent, please. Keep talking to a minimum and we'll get the show on the road. Valentino, as ever, looking pretty dapper. Interesting look, that. You see, it's taken over the fashion world at the moment. Just the plain white t-shirt underneath with the suit over the top. It's a more relaxed, a more casual way of doing things, but certainly looking good as he tightens up the laces on the shoes as well. Of course, wearing Nike as ever is the Doctor. And I believe that, were they off-white? I mean, the Doctor, whether it's Air Jordan, whether it's off-white, he is always the most stylish man in the paddock, and that is no change this time around. And as we can see here, there are plenty of people filing in to try and get the first look of Valentino Rossi's brand new team. Hopefully we'll be across with them very soon indeed. It's Italian style. If you arrange your coffee, an espresso, certainly in the paddock anyway, with anyone that's Italian, and you confirm 3 o'clock, you can be guaranteed that bare minimum 3:10 is when they'll arrive. But that is just the culture. It's the way of doing things over there, which often, I quite like. In terms of the VR46 squad, of course, easy to forget that this is only their third year, now 2 years completed in the MotoGP World Championship. We're already in their very first year able to elevate Marco Bezzecchi as a rookie up to a podium finisher. We're able to progress Luca Marini, of course, up to the point now where he's stepped aside and moved across to become a factory Honda rider. So despite still being in MotoGP terms a very young team, they've already in that short space of time established themselves as not only one of the most professional but one of the fastest out there as well. And in part that comes down to the work of the crew chiefs and the squad that Valentino has put together himself, whether it be Matteo Flamini, who is Valentino's former data engineer, who, as Bertie was mentioning, that special day 20 years ago today when he stepped onto a Yamaha for the very first time, Matteo was there for that and now works very closely indeed with Marco Bezzecchi, and I think that relationship is in part why he has stayed. But here we go then, we're officially underway. Let's get the Pertamina Enduro VR46 squad up and running in 2024.
This is Pertamina Enduro VR46 Racing Team.
Benvenuti al Flow Stream. Iniziamo.
Eccoci, buon pomeriggio a tutti. Today is the day. Fluo Stream, make some noise. Pertamina Enduro VR46 Racing Team. Hi everyone, for our international audience, for our international guest. Today is a great day. Let me to introduce, my name is Gianluca Gazzoli. Ciao, io sono Gianluca Gazzoli, ci sono molti amici oggi, quindi questa è la giornata molto bella. Se switcherò ogni tanto in lingua inglese perché è un giorno importante ed è un giorno visto in tutto il mondo, quindi io ringrazio tutti coloro che insomma sono qui oggi presenti, quindi thank you to everyone, thank you to our international audience by streaming, by television. Quindi è un grande giorno, ragazzi. Vedo che avrete notato probabilmente che su questo palco c'è una scrivania, ci sono delle poltrone, poi c'è questa che probabilmente è la cosa a cui avete fatto tutti particolarmente caso. Insomma, un giorno speciale, un giorno in cui vogliamo provare a raccontarvi le grandi novità che ci sono, che ci saranno, provare a condividere insieme delle emozioni. Sarà quindi una grande festa, e a questa grande festa ci sono diversi partecipanti e io direi di partire subito con i nostri due protagonisti, insieme ovviamente a quello che vi racconteremo oggi, e quindi make some noise to Marco Bezzecchi e Fabio Di Giannantonio, our riders. Ciao ragazzi, welcome on stage. Ciao. Welcome on stage, di già. Accomodatevi. Allora, well, Ci siamo, io sono particolarmente onorato ed emozionato insieme a voi, insomma, per provare a vivere insieme questa giornata ed accompagnarvi in quelle che saranno tutte le novità che vogliamo raccontarvi. How are you?
I'm fine.
Fine? Good?
Yeah.
C'è molta emozione dietro, a me è piaciuto perché anche prima, durante insomma, le prove, nel backstage c'è un'emozione vera, perché questa è una giornata particolarmente importante. Here we are again for another amazing MotoGP season. Which are your feelings, guys, about the next season and about these moments?
Well, first of all, hello everyone. Ciao a tutti. I'm very happy to be here. It's a fantastic day for us. We start a new chapter with this new collaboration with this new partner, and will be amazing. I can't wait to jump on the bike for sure.
Third season for Bads. Make some noise for Bads. A big applause. And first one for Dija.
Yes. Hello, everybody. It's so special to be here today. Yeah, it's my first season with this team, and I'm super excited, honestly, to wear these colors. Now you will see the bike that will be amazing, and yeah, for sure I'm excited because will be my third season in MotoGP, and I think it cannot be any better with this team to improve my growth and to try to reach the maximum. So yeah, excited, honestly.
E tra l'altro, insomma, ho notato subito un ottimo feeling, anche perché non è la prima volta che in qualche modo le vostre strade si sono incrociate. Come è andata nelle precedenti volte? Cioè, vi ricordate il momento in cui vi siete visti per la prima volta l'uno con l'altro?
Ah, Dio, ormai ci conosciamo da...
è una vita, praticamente.
È una vita, siamo sempre stati praticamente avversari, abbiamo sempre avuto le nostre carriere che bene o male si sono sempre incrociate, e... Da sempre, più o meno da quando abbiamo iniziato con le ruote alte, quindi 125 pre-GP e poi Moto 3, poi fino al Moto Mondiale.
È figo infatti come cosa un po', perché alla fine siamo sempre noi, ma in MotoGP con le moto più grandi, più colorati, più fluo, e quindi è figo.
È un percorso, fa parte del percorso, insomma, in qualche modo essere qui oggi, raccontare appunto tutto quello che sta succedendo. Qua vedete insomma anche alcune delle immagini dei vostri precedenti incontri. Mi piace la specifica con le ruote grandi, perché ovviamente c'è un prima con le ruote piccole, sì. Poi c'è un percorso with the big wheels in questo caso, e queste sono alcune delle immagini che state vedendo. Tra le varie cose che insomma belle che accadono grazie alla VR46 Racing Team, al Pertamina Enduro VR46 Racing Team quest'anno, è anche quello, una delle cose più belle è anche portare in giro non solo per il mondo, appunto, non solo delle moto, dei piloti, ma anche un luogo, un posto che per tante persone poi è diventato un luogo di grande passione, una casa anche per tanti altri appassionati, e sto parlando di Tavuglia, e abbiamo qualche immagine da vedere a riguardo. This is Tavuglia. It's a magic place in Italy, close to here. We are in Riccione. I try to explain our international guest. Riccione is a magic place for us. Tavuglia is a magic place for the riders, lovers, for everybody. And now is the moment to introduce other two important person from the team. Make some noise to Alessio Uccio Salucci, team director, and Pablo Nieto, team manager. Pertamina Enduro VR46 Racing Team.
Grande.
Ciao ragazzi. Benissimo, welcome on stage. Accomodatevi sulle vostre poltrone, siamo comodi. Sono molto contento perché stiamo comodi durante questa presentazione, perché magari in moto si sta un po' meno comodi, però qua diciamo che stiamo tutti bene. Uccio and Pablo, and also Bets to 2024 will be the 10 year of the team. Uccio, you are in the team from
the beginning.
From the beginning, from the beginning. It must be a special year, this Pablo.
Yeah, for us it's a special year. We started 2014 with Moto3, then we jumped to Moto2, and then this project coming in MotoGP. So it's a very special year for us. It's going to be a hard year, but anyway, we have to try to improve, to try to make our best, and enjoy a lot, no? Because in the end, it's amazing to be here with these riders, with all the sponsors, with everything. So I have to say thank you to everyone, and a very special year for us.
E prima abbiamo visto le immagini di Tavuglia e io non oso immaginare, poi una delle cose belle, questo lo dico proprio a livello personale, insomma, quando sono insieme al team e si respira aria di una grande famiglia, questo è bello anche quando si raggiungono grandi risultati come quello che state facendo. Quanto è importante anche per te, Uccio, portare proprio Tavuglia in giro per il mondo, portare il nome di questa paese, di questa città. Tavuglia is like Mecca, non voglio essere blasfemo, ma è realmente così.
Dai, sono contento perché dopo tanti anni con Vale portare in giro il nome di Tavuglia nel mondo, associato al motorsport. Poi quando Vale purtroppo ha smesso, non era facile comunque continuare a portare il nostro nome nel mondo associato al motorsport. Penso che con i due progetti, sia l'Academy ma anche il team, ci stiamo riuscendo, grazie anche soprattutto ai nostri ragazzi, ai piloti, ed è una cosa molto importante perché quando si va ancora in giro, ancora la gente ci ferma e mi dice cavolo, non era facile continuare a questi livelli anche dopo Vale che comunque non correva più in moto, e quindi questa qua è una cosa che mi piace molto, mi inorgoglisce tanto. E poi proviamo a fare il nostro meglio come sempre e vediamo cosa succede. Non sarà facile comunque dopo la stagione che, come dici te, che abbiamo fatto l'anno scorso, il 2023 è stata una stagione fantastica, il Bez è strepitoso, anche un grande Luca, abbiamo raggiunto dei grandi obiettivi. Quest'anno non sarà un anno tosto perché il livello è sempre più alto, però noi siamo qua, abbiamo provato a curare un po' di dettagli delle cose che non hanno funzionato l'anno scorso e speriamo di esserci riusciti e poi vediamo.
E questo è molto bello, parlavi di obiettivi, di goal, Pablo and riders, new couple of riders, which has to be the goal for the team for this season? If you can share with us, I don't know.
Yeah, the goal of the team, of course, always is try to improve, no? But if you see the season that we made last year, it was a fantastic season. So I think we have to try to improve the mistakes that we make it. But we have to enjoy a lot. This is the most important thing, no? We know that it's going to be really, really hard. A lot of riders are very, very fast. But anyway, we have to try to be competitive, try to be protagonists. If we are protagonists, I think we are happy.
Focus to the new goals, no?
Of course.
E questo chiaramente è molto bello, grandi obiettivi per la stagione che sta arrivando. Io intanto vi ringrazio Uccio e Pablo per essere qui oggi ovviamente, e ci rivedremo poi nel corso di questa presentazione. Prima abbiamo fatto vedere Tavuglia che è qui vicino, ma la passione in qualche modo è incredibile. Oggi è la dimostrazione, può unire paesi che possono essere molto lontani tra di loro, ma la passione, come vi dicevo, ci rende vicini, ci rende tutti unici, non ci sono confini e di conseguenza puoi essere qui, ma puoi essere anche in Indonesia contemporaneamente. Giustissimo. Vediamo che cosa c'è di bello anche da quelle parti. Ebbene sì, questo era non solo l'Indonesia, ma anche la presentazione di un grande partner che quest'anno accompagnerà e renderà protagonista la stagione della VR46 Racing Team. E allora fate un grande applauso, make some noise, Mr. Wery Prayogi. Please come to the stage. Thank you. And the President Director of PT Pertamina Lubricants and Gianluca Falcioni, il CEO della VR46 Agency. Please welcome on stage. Thank you. Oh, welcome on stage. Welcome, welcome. Accomodatevi, io mi riposiziono da queste parti. Una grande partnership, appunto, ma succedono un po' di cose nuove quest'anno, grazie anche a questa partnership. Ora fate finta che non vedete questo, io lo metto qua sotto, non se ne è accorto nessuno. I try. Selamat pagi, it's correct. Siang. It's better.
Afternoon.
ok, sì, cambia a seconda, giustamente c'è buongiorno e buon pomeriggio, ma welcome in Italy. Welcome in Italy. It's a pleasure having with us today. The travel, the trip were long, I think. And but Pertamina Enduro VR46 Racing Team is the first step of Pertamina Lubricants in the MotoGP Championship. Why did you choose VR46 Racing Team for this collaboration?
First, I know the team achievement in last year very good.
Okay.
And it's nice to us to join to support the VR46. The second, we have some ambition about and some idea to make VR growing together.
Okay.
And fan base MotoGP and VR46 in our country, in Indonesia, it's makes us to thinking about this is a good thing, very good thing about this collaboration.
Ok, mi sembra di aver capito che l'ultimo anno ha particolarmente aiutato, nel senso che è stato un ottimo anno e quindi di conseguenza ha invogliato ancora di più questa collaborazione, che parte in realtà da una grande passione proprio dell'Indonesia nei confronti della MotoGP. Non so se qualcuno è mai capitato di fare un giro da quelle parti, anche solo in vacanza. C'è il fluo praticamente ovunque, c'è il 46 praticamente in ogni angolo, quindi di conseguenza c'è una grande passione. Mr. Wary, what can the bike and the motorsport lovers expect from this partnership?
I think first is about new livery. Yeah? About new livery, I think people in the country is thinking about dominant color of black and blue. I think maybe it's different.
Ok, no spoiler. Stavo già andando sulla livrea della moto, però...
They have contest, I think.
Ok.
The winner is...
No problem, Mr. Wary, no problem. Ovviamente, come vedete, poi c'è una reale emozione anche per quello che poi vi presenteremo tra pochissimo. Una domanda anche per Gianluca. This is one of the first big partnership for the VR46 agency. Can you talk about something about this agency and about this collaboration?
Yes, VR46 agency is the new company inside VR46. We decided to start as this new, let's say, entity working for the partnership and sponsorship in VR46 world, to bring new opportunities and to have a dedicated department just to find, as I said, opportunities and partnership for our projects especially, but not only. Of course, it's not limited to VR46. We are open also to other synergies, to other opportunities in this world. Of course, we are very, very excited and proud about the partnership that we reached about with Pertamina. Together with Nicolas, we decided to point out the markets in Indonesia, and we felt that there is a very huge fan base for motorsport, and the market and the passion for MotoGP, especially, is unbelievable. So the biggest fan base for us and for Valentino is in Indonesia, that's true. And so we felt that there was the need to check that market. And with Pertamina, we started this new partnership. We have a lot of projects together. It's just the beginning. and we are talking about multiple projects, not just on the racing side, but also potentially on commercial initiatives. So we are very, very excited.
Yeah, and so, Beds and Dija, are you ready for the Indonesian supporters during the MotoGP season? Or, for example, during the GP at Mandalika?
Yeah, well, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are a lot of fans there. It's
Yeah.
incredible. The support, the energy that you feel when you arrive there is something unbelievable. It's like it's like a big party all over the weekend.
Yeah.
So it's always nice, and also I think with this partner together, I think will be even better. You know, even more. So I think we'll be
It will
excited.
be a new second home, maybe,
Yes.
during the GP. This is important, and now is the moment, because I know that Mr. Wary has brought something special for you from Indonesia. Please, Mr. Wary, now I have a gift for Mr. Wary, a gift for you. Do you know batik? Do you know batik?
Yeah.
Lo spiego
Yes.
adesso, praticamente l'ho imparato anche io. Ragazzi, c'è un regalo molto bello, io inviterei a fare un applauso gigante da parte di Mr. Wary. This is a traditional for
Batik,
if you want take to our riders
Thank
this
you.
gift from
Thank you so much.
Indonesia. Il batik è, insomma, ripeto, perché è stato in Indonesia, è un'antica, insomma, un tradizionale, non solo capo d'abbigliamento, ma proprio un metodo con cui, una fantasia, insomma, con cui vengono riempiti anche tanti abiti locali. E qua c'è una customizzazione molto molto bella, devo dire. Questo è un pezzone nuovo, insomma, una personalizzazione è veramente stilosa.
Siamo, no?
Ariccione, poi vado
Questa ariccione
Thank you.
è proprio fresca,
Yeah.
e
Thank you very
è
much.
veramente
Grazie.
è davvero un bellissimo regalo, e appunto con questo, secondo me, nella tappa poi indonesiana sarà ancora più bella, insomma. Grazie mille, thank you Mr. Wary for this gift. Thank you our riders. Allora, ragazzi, dovete tornare comunque tra pochi. Ok, questa no, tenetevela, però so che vi dovete cambiare dopo. So che ci siete già affezionati, mettetela via, perché so che adesso Gianluca vi deve portare in un posto, e noi ci rivediamo tra pochissimo. Fate un applauso gigante di nuovo a Bez, a Dija, a Gianluca Falcioni. Mr. Wary, please stay. No, Mr. Wary, stay with us. Stay with us. Because now, if you can sit, no problem. Ci sono un po' di cose, come dicevo, che vi vogliamo raccontare, ma soprattutto far vedere. C'è qualche piccolo assaggio. Un applauso intanto ad Aldo Drudi, che avete visto e che è qui con noi e che ha fatto delle cose che tra poco vedrete, però per raccontarvi tutto questo non è che posso farlo io. It's time, Vale, it's time. Valentino Rossi, un applauso. D'altronde di VR46 stiamo parlando ed è il momento per Valentino Rossi di salire su questo palco. Grazie Vale per essere qui oggi. Grazie
Ciao Gianluca,
mille.
ciao, buon pomeriggio a tutti, grazie di essere qua.
O se la Matt paghi, che abbiamo imparato
Se la
prima,
Matt paghi.
ma poi ce lo facciamo rispiegare. Accomodati pure
Sì.
Vale, due parole giustamente anche con te su quello che sta succedendo e quello che abbiamo visto durante questa Fluo Stream, che è ancora soltanto all'inizio, ci stiamo avvicinando poi al momento quello cruciale. Insomma, ci sono un po' di cose di cui parlare. Una su tutti after the best season of the team history, the last season in MotoGP, the team starts the 11th season with a new title partnership. This is very, very important. You must be proud about this.
Yes, for sure. The story of the team is already quite long because it's the 11th season. And from 2022, so this will be the third season in MotoGP, coming from Moto3. And we had always great partnership in the past, but we are particularly happy and proud about this partnership with Pertamina Enduro because will be very important. And also because Indonesia is one of the most important places for MotoGP in the world because it's incredible the passion if you stay there and you stay on the road, you see like in the 80s and 90s in Italy, all the people with the scooter coming crazy with the full throttle, with all the 46, with the helmet and everything.
Everywhere.
So the passion for MotoGP is great, and we are very, very happy.
E questo è chiaramente uno dei tanti motivi per cui insomma questa partnership è così importante. Abbiamo visto dal video di prima che la livrea di questa stagione è stata disegnata da una persona molto familiare per te, che è Aldo Drudi. Che cosa dobbiamo aspettarci? Tra l'altro un invito a salire qui su questo palco e a raccontarci anche qualcosa. Un applauso ad Aldo Drudi, che accolgo e accompagno. Non è male, no? Tornare a lavorare con le persone che ti hanno anche accompagnato. Benvenuto Aldo, accomodati pure vicino a Vale.
Buonasera a tutti.
Ciao Aldo. Io in realtà non ho mai smesso di lavorare con Aldo perché per la mia carriera anche in macchina abbiamo sempre fatto i caschi, e quindi lavoriamo insieme da quando io ero un bimbo. Ed è sempre divertente, no? il processo, perché ci si trova da Aldo con tutti i suoi collaboratori e si dice cosa dobbiamo fare, quali sono i problemi, quali sono le criticità. Ecco, qui per esempio c'era il marchio di Pertamina Enduro che comunque è rosso. E diciamo che noi invece siamo sempre stati più gialli, gialli neri,
Devo
gialli
dire,
blu.
non ho mai visto così tanti evidenziatori insieme come nel video prima.
Quindi
esatto. Una carrellata di evidenziatori pronti a tutto.
Quindi abbiamo lasciato Aldo esprimersi, che però aveva già le idee chiare, e quindi spiegaci com'è la moto senza dire com'è la moto, perché quello è bello.
Ve lo spiego perché poi alla fine è stata una scelta abbastanza semplice, no? Quale poteva essere secondo voi il colore del team VR46? Insomma, c'è una tradizione, no? Il giallo è qualcosa che ha accompagnato la carriera di Valentino e anche la mia, perché devo dire che grazie a Vale ho avuto, come dire, un incremento di popolarità parallelo al suo e abbiamo quindi usato questo colore che è un colore nervoso, no? È un colore d'azione, è un colore racing, no Vale? Sicuramente non è un colore da mettere nello studio di un dentista che ti deve mettere relax. È un colore da corsa che ci ha accompagnato per tanto tempo ed è l'idea di questa nuova livrea. Avevamo da come dire, applicare sulla carena degli sponsor importanti, primo di tutti Pertamina, il primo Pertamina, e abbiamo dovuto quindi lavorare, secondo me è stato quasi un obbligo, neutralizzando il fondo e usando solo il colore, nessun segno grafico oltre all'applicazione degli sponsor. Però il giallo è così popolare, Valentino è così popolare, il risultato spero sia buono, vediamo.
E lo vedremo tra poco. Fate un grandissimo applauso di nuovo ad Aldo Drudi, che ringrazio per essere salito qui su questo palco con noi. Credo come sempre grande orgoglio, insomma, per le sue opere, per le tante cose che ha fatto. E tra l'altro oggi gli ospiti non sono finiti. We have another international special guest. I'm very shocked about his followers because he comes from Indonesia. His name is Raffi Ahmad. Raffi, Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
One of
Hi.
the most important Indonesian influencer. 75 millions of followers.
Yes.
More than the Italian population.
Hello, guys. I want to introduce myself. My name is Raffi Ahmad. This is for very amazing because Fale, I'm your big fans.
Whoa.
Valentino Rossi.
Thank you.
Yes, and I'm very proud because VR46 has been chosen our Indonesian brand Pertamina lubricants. It's very honor for us.
Yeah.
And then Valentino Rossi, I have special message for him because Indonesia is very huge and second largest fan base MotoGP in Indonesia. Please come to Indonesia. Please, you must try Mandalika circuit.
Okay, I will come.
Yes, Wale.
Please come to Indonesia.
Yeah, all the best, and I hope we can forward in this year, in this season. All the best for Pertamina Enduro VR46 racing team and Indonesia.
Thank
very
you,
proud,
Raffi.
very proud. Thank you
Raffi.
so much.
Is the
Thank you
first
so much,
time in
Wale.
Italy for you?
Yes.
The first time, do you like
in
it?
Italy, yeah. Fifth time, but
fifth time.
Riccione.
The first one in Riccione.
Riccione, it is our first time, and I love Riccione.
Yeah. Do you like Pedina?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mamma
then
mia,
we eat
mamma mia.
together. Mamma mia.
Perfecto,
Yeah,
mamma mia, perfecto.
Perfect. Thank you.
Love you,
Thank you,
Fale.
Raffi.
Love you.
If
Valentino
you want,
Rossi.
tag me on
All the best.
Instagram
Yes.
for our followers, no problem. Thank you, Raffi Ahmad. Insomma, il viaggio è stato lungo, però era per un motivo molto importante. Avete sentito, insomma, è bello vedere, come dicevo, la passione tante volte unisce anche paesi che possono essere particolarmente distanti tra loro. Ma ci siamo, è arrivato il momento, quello di svelare davvero, insomma, cosa c'è qui sotto, ed è per questo che richiamo su questo palco di nuovo Uccio e Pablo. Sono carichi, si sono allenati giorni, io li ho visti che facevano le prove per l'Anvil, e però ci dobbiamo arrivare per gradi, quindi questo è il momento. Ringrazio ancora sia Valentino che Mr. Werry. Stiamo per vivere insieme la presentazione delle nuove moto della Pertamina Enduro VR46 Racing Team. Ladies and gentlemen, Pertamina Enduro VR46 Racing Team, le nuove moto. Venite Vale, venite ragazzi. Mr. Werry, please come with us for a great moment. Io personalmente, a me piacciono un casino, ma il mio giudizio può contare fino a un certo punto. Conta molto anche quello dei piloti. What do you like about this bike?
Well, for me, it's fantastic.
Can I touch? So,
Yeah.
With one finger, no?
You can.
Okay.
It's very shiny, it's very beautiful, and really different from the other bikes. So I think it's very special.
Yeah.
And hopefully very fast.
The most important things. Dija, what is your feeling about this?
Let's say that for sure 2024 is bright. The bike is incredible. È bellissima, ragazzi. Fa paura. Quando l'ho visto ho detto mamma mia che moto che abbiamo. Come ha detto Bez, speriamo che è veloce, ma sono abbastanza sicuro di questo. Questo qui è un bel mostro. E quindi ci divertiamo, dai. La moto è proprio bella, mamma mia.
Direi molto bello, fate un applauso ancora una volta. Yellow is yellow, fluo is fluo, fluo stream. Are you happy, Mr. Werry? Are you happy?
Very happy.
Very happy. Ragazzi, due parole anche a voi, com'è Uccio? Com'è?
Le moto sono bellissime, anche loro sopra, cioè, con le tute
cioè, facciamo paura anche i caschi. Speriamo di essere veloci per quanto siamo belli.
Ecco, esatto. Non è male come paragone. Pablo?
Non ho parola. Prima di niente anche ringraziare a Ducati che sempre abbiamo il supporto di loro e niente. Grazie.
Tanti partner, tanti amici appunto che supportano la squadra, questo è molto bello. Vale, che effetto ti fa vedere ancora Anvil di moto con il 46 da qualche parte, con il giallo? Ti ridà sempre quel brividino?
Certo, assolutamente. Sono bellissime, sono venute proprio bene. Adesso ci manca solo di farle andare forte.
Bisogna farle andare forti. Allora, intanto fate un applauso forte, più forte lo fate, più andranno veloci, quindi di più. E io direi che abbiamo finito per quanto riguarda la nostra live. Tra pochissimo restate qui perché ci sono ancora delle immagini, dei dettagli, c'è ancora un momento di foto. Io personalmente ringrazio tutti, è stato un grandissimo onore per me. Parlo col microfono, ma ne ho già due, ne avevo già uno, quindi questo è in più. Però tutto per dire grazie a voi che siete qui oggi. Hi everyone, thank you everyone, and see you to the next chapter, coming soon for the new emotion. Ok, va bene, va bene. Grazie a tutti ragazzi.
Ciao a tutti, grazie.
Buona visione anche a chi continuerà a seguirci da lontano. Momento foto ragazzi, so che non siamo più in live, però guardate con attenzione quello che accade.
Well, we did tell you it was going to be different, and it definitely is as well. A radical new design for the Pertamina Enduro VR46 Ducati. We also said that Aldo Drudi had got his highlighter yellow out, and as you can see, he most definitely has done as well. What do you make of it? The brand new 2024 VR46 machine. Marco Bezzecchi and Fabio Di Gianantonio you saw there in their brand new levers as well. New team gear sponsored by Kappa. They've certainly gone all out in 2024, and personally, I think I quite like it. We're definitely going to spot them out there on track. That video at the end there with the lighting on it, giving us an idea of what they may well look like under the lights in Qatar in just a few weeks' time. You can get involved as well. Let us know. The first poll post the livery being unveiled has officially been launched. Get in the chat. Let us know. Yes or no. Are you a fan of this brand new livery for the Pertamina Enduro VR46 squad? We'll show you the results to that one very, very soon indeed. But let's head back to get instant reaction from one of our experts, Alina Marzi, joining us once again. Well, it's definitely different. What do you make of that new design?
It's different, and we expected that, but it's so much different than what I thought it would be. Yeah, it's super bright. The good thing is we will find it easily on the grid, that's for sure. I don't know, how do you feel? I mean, I have to get used to see Dicha in these colors. This will take a bit of time, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. I saw a few photos earlier, and it certainly took me by surprise then. A couple of hours later, I think I've got used to it now. So I'm hoping it will be the same for everybody else. But as you say, it is such a big, big change, and quite a few changes in the team, it sounds like, as well. A lot of positivity coming out, and Valentino, the gauntlet was thrown down to him by our Instagram influencer guest as well. Let's hope we can see him in Mandalika later on this year.
It should be a big party in Indonesia. Can't wait to go there. Yeah, future is bright. That's what Dicha say, but probably even more important, like Marco Bezzecchi said, the most important thing is that they are fast, no matter which color. But yeah, it's for sure a big surprise.
Yeah, absolutely. I think now that we're seeing it more and more over and over again. I think it's a colour scheme that we can definitely get used to. Just on what the guys had to say, Bez, first and foremost, it looks as though he's been training hard, looking fit, looking ready. We mentioned before what a big year ahead it is to try and match what he was able to do next year, but it's nice to see that he was feeling confident.
Yeah, definitely. I think he's enjoying this off time, this off season, like staying at home, having a bit of relaxed one. But he's also training, as we can see on his Instagram channel. So yeah, I expect nothing than even a better season from him than the last was.
And just finally on Didier as well, you could almost see him up on stage pinching himself, actually sort of coming to the realisation that the boss, Valentino, is sat in front of him. As a young Italian, he was, like all of them, wishing to one day be in this position, and it was great to see that pride was shining through.
Yeah, he told us he really has to get used to that Valentino Rossi is his new boss. A dream is coming true, and he's doing a super great job, even on stage, I think. Super happy, super smart, entertaining. And the combination of both of these riders, like Marco Bezzecchi, the Sunny Boy, and Fabio Di Giannantonio, that could be really a lot of fun this season.
Absolutely. Alina, thank you for your time as ever. What's next for you? Any more team presentations to get to before Qatar?
No, honestly, for now, it's getting a bit more relaxed for me. Maybe a bit of holidays I can squeeze in before we see each other in Qatar, and I definitely can't wait. But I will follow you here, that's for sure.
Yeah, please do. Enjoy your holidays, and we'll see you in Qatar. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much. See you soon, guys. Bye.
Great to chat with Alina as ever, and of course she'll be there fronting the coverage throughout Austria for Service TV in 2024. Be great to catch up with her then. Right, let's see the results of the poll that we chucked your way. What do you guys make of... Really? 100%? Are we sure? Is there a glitch in the system? I mean, surely not. I know it's a brand new livery and I'm a fan of it, but there must be one person out there that doesn't like it. Amazing. So apparently... every single one of you likes the new VR46 livery. Well, I mean, I'm glad that it's an instant hit. Often we get 85% for the previous polls that we've had. So the first time that we've had a landslide victory for the Pertamina Enduro VR46 squad. Chris Jordan, who's in Riccione, can tell Aldo Drudi that the fans at home is an instant hit for them. Every single one of you liking the new fluo style highlighter yellow VR46 machine. Well, that has taken me by surprise. I'm glad to see that you all like it anyway. Right, as we told you earlier as well, before we head over to Riccione for some live interviews and also catch up with Matt Birt for the second time as well. No better time to tell you that the MotoGP app has been refreshed, revised, and is ready to go for the brand new campaign. Make sure you download it now. Look in the chat on Twitch, on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, wherever you are watching us, because there you will find a link to download it on iOS and on Android as well. Make sure you turn your notifications on so all of the latest breaking news that will be filtering through over the course of the season will be coming your way. And you can stay right up to speed once a wheel is turned as well in just over a week's time at the Sepang International Circuit in Malaysia. So a few of you have been getting in touch. Ricardo is one of them from Portugal. Great to hear from Ricardo, who I'm sure has got his seat booked already for the Portuguese Grand Prix in Portimao coming up in a couple of months' time. Jorge has got in touch from Honduras. Great to have you joining us, Jorge. Of course, you guys at home can chat away in the chat and let us know what you think of that new design. Clearly, you all like it, so tell us why. Cheryl from Malta. Forza VR46, Forza Bez. Well, thank you, Cheryl. Of course, as you can see there, big fan of both Valentino and Marco Bezzecchi. What else have we got? Rizzle Dizzle, best looking team in 2024. So clearly it is a fan favourite already, which I'm glad to see. I'm glad that all of you like this brand new livery. A big change from what we've been used to. The first photos are starting to filter out on social media as well, so make sure that you give not only MotoGP but the VR46 team a follow on your favourite social media channel to have a good look at those high-res images with them being launched now that the presentation is done. Right, okay, before we head back live to Riccione to be able to catch up with the riders, let's chat away with Bertie. Well, as we said to Alina, it's definitely different. You were hoping it was going to be bright to be able to spot it from the commentary box, and you weren't disappointed.
Jack, I'm ready for the commentary box in Qatar, buddy. That was absolutely incredible. I mean, obviously, I think a few fans were perhaps hoping for more changes on the Gresini Ducati and the factory Ducati. Well, what we didn't get from those two, we certainly got from VR46. And I've got to say, I agree with the poll, Jack. That's a stunner. I really like it. Not just because it's going to make my life a lot easier in the commentary box, because they're certainly going to be easy to spot, that's for sure, in 2024. But what do they say? Go big or go home. VR46, in terms of their livery, have gone big. Love it. First win of the season to Valentino, no question.
Yeah, absolutely. And Aldo Drudi, a legend of the game. I mean, he never lets us down, does he? Still designing helmets today for the VR46 Academy guys. You think of all the classics down the years. Well, looks as though we've just got ourselves another one.
Well, I mean, obviously, Aldo Drudi and the Rossi family connection goes all the way back to Valentino's father, Graziano, in the late 70s. And that sort of rich heritage has continued. Some of the best one-off helmets, best liveries we've ever seen have been because of the genius of Aldo and Valentino. Just looking at these studio pictures, I love it. It's bold. It's going to be easily recognisable. And, you know, this new partnership between one of the sport's biggest ever superstars and Indonesia and Pertamina, what a combination it is. You know, Indonesia's got, as we know, Jack, Indonesia's got an incredible fan base. And to be now partnered with 9 times world champion, the Italian icon Valentino Rossi, this will only elevate the sport in that part of the world even further, elevate the sport around the world. So this is a great synergy, a great new partnership, and it's fantastic news from MotoGP. I mean, to have somebody in the crowd there that's got 75 million followers on Instagram, I know that's about 1 million less than you, mate, but you know, that's now, he's going to be streaming that all around the world, streaming it to all those fans in Indonesia. This is fantastic exposure for MotoGP. Superb, love it.
Yeah, without a doubt. And what a character he was as well. He's thrown the gauntlet down to the doctor. We've been to Mandalika a couple of years now. What a venue it is. And now, well, it looks as though Rossi's got no choice whatsoever but to come and join us this year.
He's put the pressure on Valentino there, hasn't he? You've got to turn up to Lombok pretty soon, Valentino. I mean, I won't be working in the Mandalika ticket office when it's announced that Valentino Rossi might be coming to Mandalika for the first time. We know, we've only got to see on our own social media feeds, Jack, that the love that the fans have in Indonesia for MotoGP and for Valentino. And it would be, I think, fantastic, that the cherry on the cake for Indonesian fans if Valentino did decide one day, and I'm sure he will do. He's always been a man of his word. I'm sure he will honour that pledge and rock up to Lombok one day. Let's hope it's this year for those Indonesian fans, because that would be some spectacle.
Yeah, fingers crossed we can see the doctor there. These live pictures that are filtering through from Riccione is Fabio Di Giannantonio and Marco Bezzecchi jump aboard their GP23s, of course, just like last year. The VR46 squad and the Gresini squad will be running the world champion Pecco Bagnaglia's machine from 2023, whereas Bagnaia, of course, and the Pramac squad, those 4 bikes will be the full factory, fully up-to-date 2024 machines. I spoke to Alina beforehand, before the presentation, about the expectations for both guys this year. Let's just touch on Bez first, Bertie. I put to Alina what a huge challenge it's going to be for Marco just to match what he did last year, with the competition levels taking a big step forward this year. Is that something that you'd go along with?
Yeah, absolutely, Jack. I mean, it's a tough act to follow, isn't it? I mean, last year he was one of the revelations, you know, to go from, as we mentioned before the presentation, 14th in the overall rankings in what was an impressive rookie year in 22. I don't think anybody really thought that Marco would win 3 Grand Prix, 3 poles, I think, as well, a sprint winner. You know, he had so many strings to his bow last year. And, you know, he won in the rain in Argentina. He won in the baking hot conditions in India. So he was a man for all occasions as well. I think Marco will be in the title fight this year. I think it's going to be harder, no question, because every year we know that the bar gets raised. Pecco Bagnaia talked about that, didn't it? The official factory Ducati launch a couple of days ago. But Marco knows that, you know, he's going to have to step up. Experience will be key. This will be his third year in MotoGP. There's no doubt about the machinery. The GP23 was phenomenal last year, and it's a sorted, brilliant, proven, competitive, race-winning package. But Marco knows that the competition this year will be tougher than ever. Can he make another big step like he did between 22 and 23? I don't see any reason why he can't. I think experience will be the key for him. As you mentioned before, Jack, as well, he's got Matteo Flamini, his crew chief, a very close-knit family team. You know, Marco could have gone to Pramac, could have had the GP24 next year, but he's a loyal guy. How many times did he tell us last year, Jack, that he's on the grid because of Valentino Rossi? And loyalty goes a long, long way with Marco. And I'm sure that decision won't backfire on him this year.
And that relationship, well worth mentioning, because you feel as though the relationship that Marco has with his crew chief, with the team management, and with Valentino is the reason he wanted to stay there. On the other side of the coin, on the other side of the garage, it's a change for Fabio Di Gianantonio. It's a third crew chief in the space of 3 years for him. We know how good his relationship was and what a successful, in the end, relationship it was with Frankie Carcetti, who, of course, moves across now to be Marc Marquez's crew chief. We often speak a lot about the riders, but the crew chiefs are almost just as important. Those are the guys that are making big decisions and can really turn a difficult weekend into a good weekend. So to have that much change, how much of an effect do you think that will have?
It could do, Jack. I mean, obviously, you know, riders talk constantly about how stability is very, very important for them. We know, Jack, as well. We're very fortunate to spend a lot of time in the paddock together. It's hard to downplay the importance that Frankie Carcetti had on Fabio Di Gianantonio last year. Fabio talked about himself saying it was a write-off rookie season 2022. There were highlights very few and far between. He looked lost. He wasn't enjoying it. And marrying him up with Frankie Carcetti this year, let's not beat around the bush. Frankie Carcetti taught Fabio Di Gianantonio how to ride him on a GP bike. He taught him how to get the best out of himself and to get the best out of the Ducati. And that's a big loss for Fabio. The flip side of that coin is, though, Jack, I mean, he had very limited options. I mean, at one stage before the flyaways last year, I think there was a sense in the paddock that Digi was a goner. He wasn't even going to be on the MotoGP grid this year. He was struggling for results. And then all of a sudden, out of absolutely nowhere, it was one of the most pleasant surprises we had of the entire season. I mean, to go on that run he had at the end of the year, the podium in Phillip Island we thought was amazing. I mean, I remember one of my best memories of last year, Jack, was when we stood in that broadcaster set in Phillip Island and we just looked at each other. One, it was an amazing race. It had significance for the championship, but we were so lucky we get to speak to the guys straight from the Parc Ferme, straight from the podium immediately and get the reactions when they're still full of adrenaline, full of emotion. And we saw what it meant to Digia. And I think then we thought, well, a podium's fantastic, but is that even going to be good enough to keep him on the grid in 24? Because there's all kinds of rumours. We knew, of course, he was losing his Gresini seat. Then it looked like he was going to Repsol Honda. That sort of trail went cold. And then he won in Qatar and told us that great story where after the Malaysian Grand Prix, where he thought it was cut and dried, he was going to HRC and that all collapsed. He went home and told his friends, hey, guys and girls, I'm going to go to Qatar next week and I'm going to win the Grand Prix. And of course, I think everybody was probably thinking, come on, Fabio, let's have a little bit of a dose of reality here. And he did. He backed himself up and he's ended up getting a thoroughly deserved ride. I'll never forget that quote from Ducati course sporting director Paolo Ciabatti, who told us it would be unacceptable if Fabio Di Gianantonio would not find himself a ride in 2024. And I think those end of season results clearly swung it in his favour. You yourself, Jack, how many times did you speak to Uccio Salucci and Pablo Nieto, try and, as you so brilliantly always do, to drag it out of them who was going to be Marco Bezzecchi's teammate? And they weren't sort of making big noise about going for Fabio Di Gianantonio, but I think Ducati maybe were kind of like pushing him towards them. Fermin Alligator clearly was a big pick for them, but Digia deserves his place in MotoGP this year. And of course, Marco Bezzecchi and Di Gianantonio are now MotoGP race winners. They've got to kick on from this, and and both of them potentially be fighting for the top 6 overall. It won't be easy, but it looks like they've got the tools and the talent to do it.
That Sunday afternoon, or Saturday afternoon as it was, of course, in Phillip Island, one of your highlights of the year. Mine has to have been the Thursday on Qatar. You referenced it there when Didier strode into the press room, sat down in front of the gathered media and told us, I'm going to win on Sunday. And we all just turned around and started looking at each other thinking, well, I mean, he had a great ride in Australia, but I mean, he's not short in confidence this weekend. We were all flabbergasted when he actually went out and did it. And you're absolutely right as well. Ucho, I remember perfectly, on the Friday, a lot of rumours that weekend linking the VR46 squad with Fermin Aldeguer. And he did say on the live, the VR46 squad are looking for potentially a slightly younger talent. So you have to admire the fact that Didier, when the pressure was on, he went out and forced everybody's hand by taking that victory. And it was no fluke as well. He beat the world champion in a toe-to-toe fight.
It's very easy to forget, Jack, that I think I did some looking at some stats. I think in the first half of last year, or the first 13 rounds even, Didier had scored 43 points, which was bang average form. That's why, obviously, Grazini Ducati were looking around at the time. That's when the Marquez rumours really started to come to the fore. And then you look at the last 7 Grand Prix, and it was championship-winning form. He was scoring points at the same rate as Jorge Martin and Pecco Bagnaia were, and it was incredible. It was such a startling transformation. I don't think anybody saw it coming. Maybe even Fabio himself didn't see it coming. What I really like about Fabio Gianantonio, though, Jack, is we get to spend a lot of time in his company. Such a really likable guy, got a great character, speaks fantastic English. He's got kind of an English sense of humour as well. You know, he cracks the odd gag. Just a real likable guy. But I think, you know, he's now got this self-belief. He's got this confidence. And he always said, you know, he feels like, or he felt like he was on course to be doing what a guy in his second year in MotoGP should be doing. You know, he's not going to be taking it to Bagnaia, Martin, your Marquez's, your Betsekis, your Quattararos after 18 months in the championship. You know, these guys need time. And the Gianantonio was perfect proof of that, because once Frankie Carcieri got hold of him and his influence started to take effect throughout the course of the season, post-summer break, Didier was a different person and a different rider. And I'm so happy that he's got a seat on the grid this year, and in a real high-profile team as well, which has got proper support, proper financial backing, because I think he could flourish. He could really shine, and he could be the surprise package again moving forward into 2024.
We speak about that crew chief change, now teaming up with David Munoz, who was Valentino Rossi's crew chief for the final couple of years of his career, and then has been most recently working with Luca Marini. So he's certainly not jumping in with someone without any Premier Class experience. So fingers crossed that those two will be able to build a budding relationship, and we've got 5 days of testing coming up to be able to start that. We're just hoping to get or re-establish our connection with Riccione to be able to bring you those live interviews. So hopefully we're not keeping you from anything too pressing, Bertie, but we've got a couple of questions more for you. Of course, you guys at home, if you do have any questions for Matt, then stick them in the chat and we'll get them across to you as soon as possible. In fact, the first one should be an easy one. This is the one for you guys at home. Don't give the answer away here, Bertie, but Marco Bezzecchi's dog, is it A, Rubik, or B, Napoleon? I know the answer. I think you know the answer. We'll give the guys at home 30 seconds. Bez, of course, such a lovable, likeable character. We do have the great pleasure of spending plenty of time with him throughout the season. He can be sharp at times, prickly at times as well, but it's all part of that bubbly personality that we're glad to see, given results over the past couple of years, is really starting to shine through on the biggest stage now.
Yeah, I love Bez. Fully paid up member of the Marco Bezzecchi fan club. One of the best parts of my job, Jack, is to host the post-race press conferences and the pre-event press conferences. And thankfully, Marco's big rise to prominence last year meant he spent a lot of time in front of the microphone last year in a lot of press conferences. And he's just got a great sense of humour. He's quite a mischievous character. He can be a little bit spiky at times. I mean, he gives short shrift to obvious questions, and I suppose an obvious question gives an obvious answer, and sometimes you'll get the one word yes or no, but you know, 99.9% of the time, Marco's just fantastic. He's great for the sport. He reminds me of sort of a mixture of Valentino Rossi and Marco Simoncelli in terms of, you know, the way he approaches it, the fun-loving aspect, the way he looks. You know, he's got the rock star looks. And what's the Marco Bezzecchi's dog? Well, I knew that one, Jack, and well, we both knew that one. But some people went for Napoleon, 5.3%.
Yeah, that's not bad, though. Just under 95% of you getting it right. I'm pleased with your work. From the past couple of shows, we've been getting around 75, 80%, and I had to give the guys a bit of a slap on the wrist at home. They needed to up their MotoGP homework, so clearly they have done. As the Professor Appleyard, I'm pleased with the work that's been done from everyone at home. In terms of what's to come then for Sepang, Bertie, I mean, let's just talk a little bit more about Marco Bezzecchi, because already a lot of people are talking about 2025. We mentioned Pecco Bagnaia just a couple of days ago, speaking about the fact that he hopes to have a new deal in place with Ducati very soon. Indeed, talks ongoing with the world champion and Ducati. That second seat alongside him is going to get a lot of media attention this year. Already people pitting Marc Marquez and Jorge Martin against each other. But I think a lot of people would be quite daft to rule Marco Bezzecchi out of that conversation.
Yeah, absolutely, Jack. I think Bez, out of all those Ducati riders that's looking to get the big seat, the prize seat alongside Pecco in 2025, the dark horse could be Marco. Pecco, of course, he's going nowhere. I'll be gobsmacked if Ducati don't get him signed up very, very quickly. You know, 2 times world champion. They know what an asset he is, what a value he is. But that second seat alongside him, I mean, Enea Bastianini is a prime candidate. Enea, I think, said himself at the Ducati launch, 2024 was all about redeeming himself, showing the real beast this season. He's not going to want to spend just a couple of years in that factory Ducati squad. Jorge Martin, well, we know that Jorge is just full of so much desire, so much motivation to show Ducati that he deserves that place in the factory team. The curveball has come, hasn't it, by them signing Marc Marquez. You know, Marc spent his whole MotoGP career in the factory Honda team. You know, he knows the importance of being in a factory squad. And I'm sure Marc has got big desires on trying to get a nice shiny red bike in 2025. So it's going to be a fascinating, intriguing battle for the championship between those names we just mentioned. You know, Bagnaia, Martin, Bastianini, Marquez and Bezzecchi. They're fighting for the individual title glory, but they're also fighting for that one seat alongside Bagnaia, because let's be honest, he's going absolutely nowhere. He's got no intention of leaving Ducati. They want to keep him. So it is just one seat that's up for grabs. You know, already, I mean, as an ex-journalist, I love silly season, or we should really call it silly year now, because the rumour mill never seems to stop. Already talks that maybe Jorge Martin expressing, well, I think Jorge's gone public and said, you know, if I can't get the factory seat at Ducati, I'm going elsewhere. You know, clearly he feels like the time's right for him to make a move. Repsol Honda, they're going to be definitely keeping a very close eye on the Martin situation. It's going to be really, really interesting, Jack. Really fascinating. One of the big off-track stories this year will be who will slot in alongside Pecco in 2025 and beyond.
Yeah, already some reports in Spain from some fairly reputable Spanish journalists that Fermin Aldeguer has signed a deal with Ducati to be on the grid in 2025, and you just feel he is almost picture perfect, the right man to be able to slot into that Pramac squad and replace Jorge Martin in 2025. Of course, he's got a Moto2 World Championship to try and go and win first and foremost. But as you say, it's the 24th of January. A wheel has not even been turned in MotoGP yet. We're already talking 2025.
I mean, we know, Jack, we only have to watch how good he was at the back end of last season, how good he was before those last 4 races in Moto2. Fermin Aldeguer, now Pedro Acosta's moved up to MotoGP. Clearly, he's the hottest property outside of the Premier Class now. And there's going to be huge interest. Personally, I'd be absolutely gobsmacked if he hasn't already got a letter of intent signed with somebody, you know, because you're going to want to get a talent like that signed up pretty quickly. You know, there's going to be a lot of people are keeping a close eye on Aldeguer I mean, there was talk, wasn't there, that he could have gone to Pertamina Ducati or he could have gone to VR46. His great friend, Alicia Spargo and Jorge Martin, who are two wise old heads on that MotoGP grid, felt like even at the tender age of 18, he was ready. He was ready to embrace the challenge. So, yeah, I mean, off-track headlines. You're going to be a busy old chap in pit lane this year, Jack, trying to keep tabs on what's going on, because there's only, 3 or 4 guys that are actually in the contract beyond 2024. Luca Marini being one at Repsol Honda. I think Zarco, LCR Honda, and Brad Binder, we know, signed that 3-year KTM gig. But apart from that, I mean, you might as well just chuck another 19, 18 balls up in the air and see which one lands first to who might go where. So I've got to say, 2024, both on track and off track. I'm rubbing my hands because I can't wait. It's going to be absolutely awesome.
It's going to be a busy year, that's for sure. And I, for one, just like you, can't wait to get stuck in at Qatar, see what gossip is floating around, and throw some questions at a few team managers that probably aren't so pleased to see me after the Christmas break. But let's see how we get on. And you have to say as well, a lot of people talking about the domination that Ducati have had last year, but you've got to take your hat off. They are not happy to stand still with the signing of first Bagnaia, then Martin, and now, if it's proven to be true as well, making sure that they snap up Aldeguer. They are, for obvious reasons, an attractive proposition, but they're going out and getting their business done.
Yeah, and they've got the deepest of deep talent pools this year, haven't they? I mean, they were strong enough as it was, and then to add Marc Marquez to your stable as well. I mean, that's just going to potentially change the dynamics in Borgo Panigale quite dramatically. I think it's going to be not the easiest management years for Ducati, but they're blessed with so much amazing talent. And, I think it's going to be interesting to see in Sepang and onwards, Jack, and moving forward into the season, just how Honda and Yamaha take advantage of their concessions. I mean, I've read somewhere that I think Honda have got 22 private tests planned. Stefan Bravo's probably trying to look at property in Beverly Hills right now. If he gets paid by the lap, I mean, we do need to find out how the Japanese are going to take advantage of these concessions, because it's a great opportunity for them. But we heard Fabio Quartararo touch upon this a lot last season. It's one thing to get concessions, but you have to take full advantage. You have to capitalise on your extra engines, your extra testing, your extra tyre allocation for testing. That's all well and good, but you have to make sure you take full advantage. And I see it's already caused a bit of a stir as well. I was reading this morning, Pecco Bagnaia was talking to the journalists in Madonna di Campiglio at the official Ducati launch. She said, I understand why the concessions were given to Honda and Yamaha to improve, but he didn't seem very happy that Ducati had lost a lot of their benefits. And that would be interesting, Jack, obviously, to see, one, how Honda and Yamaha can step up to the plate with the technical advantage that they have this year, but also how Ducati will handle the restrictions which they now have. In some respects, they're victims of their own success, but they know the importance, they know the value of competing against Honda and Yamaha in this championship. The GP23 was arguably one of the best, I think you said the other day, mate, arguably one of the best race bikes that's ever rolled out of a factory in history. It's the 75th anniversary of MotoGP this year, a special year, and there haven't been too many better race bikes than the GP23 that have come out of a production line. The GP24, I think you spoke to Pecco yourself in Valencia, he said straight away he felt there was an extra performance from the engine. So, yeah, the technical war is going to be pretty exciting and pretty tough as well this year, isn't it?
Yeah, lots to look forward to. Not long to wait now as well. Bertie, thank you for your time as ever. Can't wait to catch up properly face-to-face in Qatar in 6 weeks' time? Should be a good one.
Yeah, looking forward to it, mate. Always exciting to go into a new season, but I've been doing this for a long, long time now. Lucky to still be involved, but I can't remember. I seem to say this every year, don't I? But I can't remember a pre-season where I've been so excited, so ready to go. Marc Marquez and Ducati. It's going to be phenomenal. You're not going to want to miss a single lap in 2024.
No, absolutely. Thank you for your time as ever. We'll see you soon. Enjoy your holidays.
Cheers, Jack.
No There we go. Great to be able to catch up with Matt Birt, of course, the voice of MotoGP. Right, we did promise you some interviews, and we have got one for you. No better man to hear from than the boss himself, the Dr. Valentino Rossi, the 9-time world champion, previewing what's to come for his newly rebranded Pertamina Enduro VR46 squad in 2024. Let's jump across and hear the thoughts of Valentino.
Just what's possible for your team this year?
Allora, we are very happy to race with Marco and Fabio, and also with the new sponsor, with Pertamina Enduro. Is an important relationship. We arrive from a fantastic season from last year, so we are first of all we want to try to win some races. This is the first target, and also try to fight for win the championship, and also try to fight in the team championship.
Very good. So focusing on the riders particularly, we look at Marco, who came in P3 of the championship last year, 3 wins. And then we have Fabio, who's one of the form riders ending last season. He picked up that brilliant win in Qatar. How do you think they are going to blend on track as teammates, and how can your team get the best out of them?
The lineup is great. We have to say a great thank you to Marco, because he decided to remain with our team, to give to us the trust to try, and the target is try to improve the last year result and try to win some races. From the other side we have Fabio, that is not a rider from the academy, so for us it's also a new experience. But at the end of last season, he was very, very competitive. So the target is try to stay at that level.
Thank you very much for your time, Valentino. Okay. One more.
Great as ever to be able to hear from Valentino Rossi. Unfortunately, the connection in Riccione just dropped out. So we are going to struggle to bring you any more live interviews, but do not fear, our man on the ground, Chris Jordan, is still there, and we'll be chatting away to Marco Bezzecchi, Fabio Di Gianantonio, Pablo Nieto, and Uccio Salucci as well. All of those interviews will be available very shortly on MotoGP.com. Another opportunity, if you haven't already, download the new app and you'll be able to watch them all there. So, before we say goodbye, unfortunately, let's just have a look at some of the comments that have been coming in. First one, this from Dewar. Hi, Jack. What's your first impression of the new VR46 livery ahead of MotoGP 2024? Dewar, I'm a fan. I like it. I mean, how can you not? 100% of you at home said you liked it. Alina, Matt Birt have all said that they're big fans as well. So I think it's a smash hit for Aldo Drudi and the VR46 squad. It looks fantastic, and I cannot wait to see it under the lights in Qatar as well. Across that opening weekend. John has been getting in touch. So much going on in the livery. It's a masterpiece. Yep, have to agree. It's a big fan favourite already, which is great to hear. So far, it's the most surprising livery. Yeah, absolutely. As we said, not too many changes on the Gresini bike. A few more on the Ducati one. And to be fair, I think that might grow on you. Once you have a look at the details, it is quite a nice change. But certainly this one, a bold change for the VR46 squad. And good to see so far. It looks as though it's gone down well. Sakaris has been in touch from Norway. Big fan of the livery as well. And this is great to see. Everybody, a huge fan of the VR46 team livery for 2024. Deddy, another fan of it as well, thanks to Valet. Well, he wasn't the designer, but he's had to sign it off. So yeah, I think saying thank you to the doctor is more than worthwhile doing. Have we got anybody else? Who else has been getting in touch with us? This from Abby, the final one. The best livery. Fire emojis are absolutely spamming the chat, and it comes as no surprise as well. I'm sure that the chat is filled with fire emojis, with yellow hearts. Everybody will have their glow sticks out in Qatar to honour this brand new VR46 livery. And you'll be able to see it in person for the opening Grand Prix of the year in just under 6 weeks' time. The 9th, the 10th of March. Get your tickets now for the Losail International Circuit in Qatar. Or, as we said as well, let's make 2024 the year of a bucket list trip. Myself and Bertie, in between the presentation, we're just talking about the trips to come, how excited we are to get going again, whether it be to Termas in Argentina, Austin in America, or maybe you've never visited the roller coaster. Portimao, of course, has seen some incredible races, incredible drama since we returned in 2020. Can home hero Miguel Oliveira do the business there? We'll be chatting to him next time we're live in a couple of days' time. Those are the opening 4 rounds of the year. Make sure you look at the link in the chat that's been posted now to catch your tickets before they sell out. Some good discounts there as well. I think for some in particular, up to 30% off. So well worth checking out to make sure that you've got yourself a trip planned for the upcoming season. Right, we just mentioned then, we're going to be back with you on Saturday. Let's give you the full schedule of what's still to come for the MotoGP team presentations in 2024. It's now 3 down, 8 to go. Back with you live Saturday, 4 o'clock local time here in Barcelona as the Trackhouse Racing team officially get welcomed to MotoGP with Miguel Oliveira and Raul Fernandez. And then on Monday, the Gas Tech Trois squad will have Pedro Acosta walk out as a MotoGP rider for the very first time. Then it's time to go testing in Sepang for the factory Yamaha and the factory Honda boys before we'll hear from Alex Rins in blue for the first time with the Monster Energy Yamaha squad alongside Fabio Quartararo. Then the Sepang test, and look at that for a busy week to almost round us off as well ahead of the Qatar test. KTM, Repsol Honda, LCR Honda and Aprilia before it's all rounded off with the Prima Pramac Racing guys on the 28th of February. A big month ahead of us, and it continues on Saturday. It's been a strong Ducati flavour so far with Gresini, Ducati and VR46. Time to turn our attention to Aprilia on Saturday. Do join us then. Thank you very much for joining us, and kudos to Valentino and the squad as well. The highlighter yellow clearly has gone down a real treat. We'll see you on Saturday.